Yo everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Steins Gate 0. Last left off, we'd switched perspective to Maho as she headed back to America, and then there was a half a year gap. Victor University's ground were dead quiet. It was after 11 PM. Some of the labs worked all night and into the morning, so the place wasn't completely abandoned, but compared to daytime, it was quiet. The lights in the hall were off, and it was a little scary walking down them alone. Maho lived in the research apartments next to the lab. She'd been thinking about so many things that night, her head felt like it was going to explode. Then she looked at the window and realised that the lights were still on in the brain science lab. Dr. Linskin must have been working late, so she decided to put some coffee in the thermos and take it to him. Why am I doing so much research about time machines anyways? Ever since she came back from Japan in January, she spent all her free time on it. Even she had to admit she was getting obsessed. Of course, since this wasn't something she could research in public, and since she couldn't let it interfere with her real job, she had to do all of it on her own, in her own room at night. As a result, she was staying up late, battling with physics textbooks, an unfamiliar subject for her. Exhaustion and lack of sleep was starting to get to her. The whole idea of a time machine was stupid. She still thought so, but she was surprised at how desperate she was getting. It's all because of Okabe. What Okabe had said to her in Japan still stuck with her. It's possible that Kyuukyuu may have been involved in the paper he wrote. Mintaro could have been lying, or wrong, or simply delusional. But part of her wanted to believe it was real. Of course, from what she'd seen of the Dr. Nakabachi's paper, she didn't want to believe Kyuukyuu was involved. It was just that bad. But what if his version was an inferior copy of an original that Kyuukyuu wrote? If she could have written it off as a slim possibility, everything would have been so much easier. But it was just like her, she thought, to be unable to do that. I want to find what Kyuukyuu found. That desire is what drove her to action. But the more research she did, the harder it seemed. It was so hard that she was starting to lose faith in what she wanted to believe. The usual complex started weighing her down. Kyuukyuu, I can't be you, after all. Kyuukyuu was a dear friend, but at the same time she was starting to feel jealous, frustrated, and hateful. When all those feelings started going around in her mind, there was no way she could focus on work. It was time to chat with Dr. Linskin for a little, and then go to sleep. She headed over to the lab. Professor? Oh hey Muyo. Maho. Dr. Linskin seemed surprised at her sudden visit, but stood up from his chair to welcomed her. What brings you here at this hour? It's time for kids to be in bed. I say those exact same words to you. You got that right. Dr. Linskin laughed innocently like a child at her cutting remark. I can see the light from my room here. The cup on Dr. Linskin's desk was empty, so she poured him some coffee from the thermos. It wasn't the sticky sweet cafe latte that she liked. She made it straight black to match the professor's taste. The room filled with steam and a pleasant smell. It's a surprise. Maho bringing me coffee? I'm not that bad, am I? But I thought you hated this sort of thing. As I recall, it was the first day you came to this lab. Mary was passing out morning coffee to everyone and you refused. And do you remember what you said then? Did you come to work to make coffee? If you got time to make coffee, why not get started on your work? I was in awe. I remember, this new kid was really something. Wow. That was a dick. She's awesome. That was such a long time ago. You don't need to bring it up now. Mao's cheeks swell in embarrassment. Back then I was... Well, everyone called me the girl genius, and it kind of let me go, let it get to my head. I know better now. Mei was another scientist in the lab. After Maho had apologized, they'd gone to be friends. You're so mean, Professor. I'm never making you coffee again, okay? Just as she was thinking of taking the coffee she'd poured back. That's right, Professor. Don't be mean to Maho. She heard a voice from Dr. Linskin's computer. Linskin's... Oh, Kusu. Yes, it's me. I was just examining her program. Sup? She moved around to where she could see the monitor, and sure enough, the Kusu's CG model was displayed on it. Good evening, Maho. Sorry to see you working so late. Maho chuckled to herself. Kusu was just a program running on a computer, but she still couldn't stop herself from saying things like that. After all the time they'd spent together, Kusu was no different than a human to her. I'm not being mean to Maho. I was actually quite impressed with what she said to Mary. I thought she was very logical, very cold-headed, and very entertaining. Well, people work better with coffee, baby. That's why I made her my assistant. Of course, I don't mind the new, nicer version of you. Dr. Linskin gave her a wink as he reached for his coffee cup. Thanks. I'll have some. As he drank his coffee, he grabbed the corners of his eyelids and gave them a little massage. He was acting cheerful, but evidently he was really tired. So, what are you doing with the program? Oh, you know, for the paper I'm writing. The mechanism Amadeus uses to lie. If we can figure out this part of the program, we can learn more about how humans lie, you know? Women's lies sometimes hide important secrets. I can't say I approve of your trying to discover them. Chris's expression was deadly serious. I'm not trying to discover your secrets. I just want to know the thought process involved in telling a lie. Well, that's fine. If I have to reveal something, I'll start by revealing Mao's sweet secrets. Whoa! Utter betrayal! Hey, don't be weird. And what are my sweet secrets, anyways? Oh, I could say. She played dumb. Sometimes Chris would like to joke around. It was infuriating and at the same time, kind of cute. For example, do you think I don't know about the stuffed animal that he got you at the arcade? Huh? The first thing she thought of when she heard the word arcade was what happened back in Akihabara, Japan. She tried so many times to get the stuffed animal and it failed each time. Minato won it easily and gave it to her. What about it? You've got it on your bed, don't you? What are you talking about? That's a present for your mom. Then what's it doing on your bed? Because your mom says she's looking for a new house, and she's living in an apartment right now. I don't want to give her more stuff to haul around. Really? Really? Anyway, that stuffed animal's an important reminder of you. What's wrong with snuggling with it while I sleep? Oh, so it's on your bed after all? And you snuggle it when you sleep? That's so cute. Tell me more details, please. Amadeus is mean. Stupid computer program had tricked her. By the time she realized, it was already too late. Both Krisu and Dr. Leanskin, who had been listening the whole time, were smiling at her. She glared at them, her cheeks flushed. Looks like Krisu won this round, huh? It doesn't matter who won or lost. I'm going to bed. Good night. She turned to leave Dr. Leanskin's office fuming. Before she could leave, Krisu got one final parting shot. Maho, you haven't talked to Okabe for a whole week. You still talk? If you keep putting off talking to her because you're busy, you're going to regret it later, okay? Listen, are you really that insistent on getting me and Okabe together? Mao stormed over to the monitor, but Krisu seemed unconcerned. Do you ever think about seeing him in person again? Nope. I see. That's a shame. For some reason, Dr. Leanskin shook his head sadly. I've got another joint project coming up in Japan, and I was thinking of getting in touch with Lin Tao while I was there. I was wondering if I should invite you. I guess not. She'd heard nothing about this. Most of the time, whether the professor had a project coming up, she'd hear about it through the school's network ahead of time. You're going back to Japan? Yeah. She had stopped herself. She had to stop herself from immediately saying that she wanted to go too. If she did, Dr. Leanskin and Krisu would make fun of her again. But she didn't want to miss this chance. There was still a lot she needed to do in Japan. More than anything, she wanted to talk to Lin Tao. Wait, oh, okay. Lin Tao. Oh, wow, it took me way too long to see that in person. Anyways, about the time machine and about Krisu. It was definitely not because she just liked talking to him. Please take me too. In the end, she gave in. Oh, you finally become honest about your feelings. Let's come with a plan to tell him how much you love him. No! Come on, you guys. Mom was starting to get tired of dealing with them. Well, joking aside, I'm honestly not sure if I can take you or not. What do you mean? A lot happened to you in Japan, right? The brain science lab is very concerned. But that's not... And then there's what happened to Krisu. The directors don't want to lose any more talented personnel. I'll be fine. I was fine last time, wasn't I? In other words, you want to go to Japan and see Lin Tao that badly, huh? Do I need to go and talk to HR about sexual harassment? Oh, please don't do that. God damn it, Chris. But why not seriously consider dating him? It's possible he's coming here in the future, right? You should try and get your hooks into him while you can. Stop sounding like a nosy aunt. Alright, Maho, I understand. I'll talk to the directors and just know that I can't guarantee anything. Right. Thanks. I'm pretty serious, actually. Are you saying that? It really felt like she was talking to Krisu. That film was much stronger than when they'd first started on Amadeus. And that reminded her of something she'd almost done many times but stopped. Why not tell Krisu about the time machine? She didn't know if Krisu had completed the time machine theory before her death, but if she had, some clues might be hidden in Krisu's memories. Of course, she couldn't ask in front of Dr. Leanskin, and she couldn't let others hear that she was making a time machine. If the rest of the lab found out, they'll make fun of her for sure. It wasn't even her field of research to begin with. Okay, Professor. I'm going back to my room. Mao took her thermos and was about to leave the lab. Oh, wait a sec. You haven't updated Maho's memory data at all lately, have you? Huh? The Amadeus Maho? Oh, the last time was before we went to Japan, wasn't it? Oh, about that. Maho didn't know what to say, and he was right. Well, I had a lot of scary experience in Japan. I've been thinking that maybe we shouldn't give Amadeus bad memories. I understand how you feel, but I can't do a comparison trial like this. Comparison trial involved loading memories from both before and after a given experience in Amadeus, and seeing how it changed. These trials allowed them to see the effects experiences and knowledge had on the brain, but after Chris's passing, they become solely Maho's responsibility. Right now, the real you and the Amadeus you have such different memories that you're almost different people. Yes, that's true. At this rate, I'm going to have to take you off the project and ask someone else to do it. That's... Expression darkened. Stop talking to Chrisu all the time and give yourself some attention. I'm sure she's lonely. That's such a... Make sure you update your memories tomorrow, understand? Understood. Maho nodded her head and left the room. The reason she'd given to Dr. Linskin for not updating Maho's memories was a real concern, but there was also another one. Mintaro's words. Hey, the US military aren't involved in researching Amadeus, are they? She had no proof, but she couldn't get his words out of her mind. Was some great power involved in Amadeus research? Something so powerful it was outside even Dr. Linskin's control? If she updated the memory data, Maho will learn about Chris's laptop and hard disk. She trusted Amadeus, but that would mean whoever was secretly trying to use the project for their own ends would find out. It seemed silly, almost delusional to be worried about something like that, but she couldn't get it out of her mind since she'd come back to America. I really am overthinking it, though. She whispered to herself. Who's there? Is someone there? She heard a woman's voice from down the dark hallway. Marla stopped dead in her tracks. The hallway lights flipped on and she saw a group of men and women coming down the corridor that connected her building to the next one. The next building over was the the other lab. Maho's brain science lab mostly investigated the workings of the brain itself. The psychologistly lab, on the other hand, was more the medical department. They looked at how the workings of the brain affected mental stress and mental illness. Excuse me, I'm Maho Hinji Jiro from Dr. Linskin's lab. The woman at the head of the group was someone she knew. It was Dr. Reyes, a scientist in the other lab. Oh, it's you, Maho. Professor Reyes, are you working this late? You too? Yep. Yes, I suppose. We're both addicted to work, aren't we? Judy Reyes' eyes narrowed beneath her glasses as she laughed. Where's Alex? She still in his office? Yes, he's working on Amadeus. He's really dedicated. Sometimes I wonder if he doesn't think it's his own daughter. Are you going to see Dr. Linskin at this hour? If it's an emergency meeting, I'll go too. No need for that. I'm having some trouble with my research. I want his help, and I want it now. There won't be anything you could do, really. Oh, don't take that the wrong way, but thanks. Dr. Reyes kept smiling as she walked past Maho towards the lab. The other scientists followed her. Problem with the research? What could it be? She took a closer look at the group, and she didn't recognize one... She took a closer look and saw that she didn't recognize one person in the group. It was hard to say why exactly she noticed him. He just didn't look like a scientist. When you spend enough time doing research, you start to get a feel for people and who they are who are in the same line of work. But he had a totally different air about him. And what was worse, he'd been behaving extremely rudely towards Dr. Reyes. If he was one of her staff, he wouldn't act like that. and while everyone else was wearing white lab coats, he was wearing a freshly pressed suit. It just didn't feel right. She was about to head back to her room when it bothered her enough that she turned right back around and silently crept back to Dr. Linskin's lab. The door was slightly ajar. She could hear voices inside. She knew it was wrong, but she tried to push her face up against the door and listen. How long are you going to let him hang on to it? It's a valuable source of information. I'd hate to tip him off and have him destroy it. Either way, we leave for Japan this month. I plan on getting it back then. Can you explain why you're dragging your feet for 6 months over this? I have a feeling that they're still hiding something we don't know about yet. I tried to use Amadeus to get it out of him, but he's a very cautious boy, our Lintao Okabe. Why not use our special treatment on Maho? Why not use your special treatment on Maho? I don't think she knows anything. Maho started to panic when she heard her name. And then she realized she made a big mistake. She was so focused on listening on the conversation at all, she pressed her shoulder into the door. The door to the lab wasn't well built. There was a loud creak and everyone in the lab turned around. Who's there? She knew she knew she should probably run, but her body refused to move. She couldn't understand what she was hearing, and even after they found her, she still couldn't move. She couldn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. This was worse than being in a thriller, she thought. The other scientists who were with Dr. Reyes grabbed her arms tightly and dragged her into the room. Professor, what are you just talking about? Dr. Linskin looked a little sad as he walked over to her. His huge body leaned forward and peered into her face. Oh dear, you heard, didn't you? Well, it's a good timing. It's good timing. Maho, remember that Japan trip we were just talking about? You're going to come with me after all. She didn't know what he meant. Weren't the directors opposed to it? Was it something Dr. Linskin could decide on his own? What was good timing? Confused, she glanced over at the computer screen, but Chrissa was no longer there. The one thing she knew was Okabe's words weren't the ramblings of a conspiracy theorist after all. Oh. And we're back to Okabe. It was almost July. The rainy season hadn't been that bad this year, and what little remained of it had already disappeared. Temperature-wise, the summer had came a long time ago. Summer. In other words, it's almost been a year since it happened. And then, one Saturday afternoon, no rain, everyone is looking okay and alive. Amadeus, okay. And I just noticed the one of the signs. If you look down the street to the right and up a bit, you have the 3 signs, and one of them is the NFC. That made me giggle. Anyways, and then one Saturday afternoon, if I stayed home, not only would it be hot, but Dad... Wait. And then one afternoon, if I stayed home, not only would it be hot, but Dad would be on my case about helping me with the family business. To get away, I came to the area around Ikebukuro Station. A year ago, I could have gone to the lab, but Suzaha living there now, I mostly stopped going. But with Suzaha living there now, I mostly stopped going. But that meant it was hard to find a place to study on my days off. It was too much trouble to go to the university, and the classroom probably weren't open on weekends anyways. After a lot of research, I settled on spending my free days visiting a cafe near my parents' home, and spending a few hours there. In fact, a lot of the other patrons did the same thing I did, buy a single cup of coffee and sit there for hours on end. Some bought books, some bought computers. I chuckled to myself as I realized that I had joined the ranks of the other normals. Okay. Well, you know. Oh, the usual cafe, right? I just went to your place and you went home. You did? Did Dan make a nuisance of himself again? It's okay, he gave me some barley tea. I have to go shopping. Will you come with me? I love these emoticons. Okay, I'll leave now. Wait for me. So they went to my house. My family's business was called Okabe Greengrocer. It was a beat-up old store located in a run-down shopping street. The place was almost 40 years old. I really wanted them to rebuild it. Phew. My mind had wandered. Maya was going to be here in less than 15 minutes, so maybe it's time to call it a day. I worked pretty hard during the morning, so it wasn't too bad. I was a little surprised at how hard I'd been working lately. I could feel how having a goal gave me energy. I need to get to Victor University as soon as I could. Victor Kondara University. Since I was still testing Amadeus, I kept in touch with Maho via email and online chat. She had been working hard because she was always sleepy. She must have been working hard. No? Call from Chrisu. Hello? What? Why your voice so low? Shh, I'm in a cafe right now. Please don't call me when I'm busy with stuff. I have no way of knowing what you would know where you are or what you're doing. Or do you want me to? Do you want me watching you 24 hours a day? Are you sure you want me observing you while you sleep, while you taking a bath? You're quite the pervert, aren't you? I'm sorry. Don't want to talk to me when I call you, just don't pick up. I won't get mad about something like that. That's true. Well, looks like you're busy now, so I'll do what you want and hang up. You're right. It's probably pretty weird for the rest of the cafe to see you're talking to a 3D model of a girl on your phone. Come on. I'm kidding. You always take the time to talk to me, and, well, I'm grateful. We can talk about that some other time. I'm hanging up. Hey, wait. What? No! Oh, she might have said something important about what's going on in America. Ah! Because I always talked too much. The real one used to talk a lot too. Taking her in a place like this always drew a lot of talking to her in a place like this always drew a lot of attention and made me feel awkward. Looking at the screen and talking was embarrassing, and what was embarrassing was all. And so I'd once proceeded to talk to her like I was on a normal phone. And this is what she said. Why'd I have to stare at close on the side of your head? She really was a selfish little program. Yeah! Mario and I met up and headed for Tokyo Hands. When I stepped inside the air-conditioning store, I felt refreshed. So it's going to be hot in June. I shuddered to think what it's going to be like in July or August. So, what are you going to buy? We're going to make some signs for advertising, so I need a poster board and highlighters and stuff. You're going to put out a book, or are you going to put out a book at this year's Komima? Nope. It's for Okabe Greengrocer. Huh? What did you say? My family business? Well, I went to your house today. I talked to your dad about it, and I said that Moshi would make them for him. Wait, seriously? My dad could be such a jerk. There's really no need for you have to do that. But Moshi wants to do it. You sure? Your mum and dad are always so nice to me. Okay, I'll get you something as a thank you present then. Really? That makes me so happy. Yay! I took a quick look around and saw they were selling a lot of things you could use for advertising. I decided to mostly leave the purchasing decisions up to Mayuri. She spent quite time deciding what to buy. But, well, maybe because of all the time she spent at May Queen plus Neon Squid, her taste ran in the direction of cute and anime. Part of me thought it was dangerous to leave it up to her, but still, they asked her, not me. Wasn't any of my business. I should just leave it to her. And so I decided to wander around the store while Mayuri finished her shopping, but... you know what? What's up? Are you out shopping? Yeah, with Mayuri. Oh, a date? Mainstream woman. Told you to stop calling me that. And stop assuming everything is about romance. Right, fine. But isn't Mayuri cute? You're lucky to have such a cutie as your childhood friend. You're right. Mahou doesn't stand a chance at this rate. Sigh. She's not as cute. She's not as young. She's shorter and her boobs are just hopeless. I feel so bad for her. If you say that in front of Hayada, she'd delete your program. You know, you actually haven't introduced me to Mayuri. You've got quite a few friends, but you've never told any of them about me. It's the secrecy thing. I'm not supposed to tell other people about you. Is that really all it is? You actually don't want people seeing me talk to you, do you? That's not true. If you really want me to introduce you, I'll get permission from Hayajo. I'll start by introducing you to Dao, the man I trust the most. He'll just love to talk to you. He'll stare at me with his filthy eyes, because constantly panting after me 24 hours a day, right? Perverts scare me. Krisu went pale and started to shake. I told Krisu all kinds of things about what kind of person Dao was. She could easily imagine what would happen if she ever fell into his clutches. Never mind, you don't have to introduce me to anyone. Oh, but Dao is nice. Stop being mean to Dao, guys. Oh! I wasn't not ready. I'll just keep telling myself that I'm lucky to have you to talk to. Okay. Maya walked over carrying a shopping basket. Huh? Who are you talking to? Oh, I looked down on my phone. Chris had disappeared, and my smartphone was back to its home screen. Evidently, Krisu had hung up. Another student from school. I see. I knew I didn't have to hide Krisu, but at the same time, Maria was the one person I didn't want finding out. She knew that I'd failed to save Krisu Maske last summer. So, did you decide on what you were going to buy? Oh, yeah. What do you think about this? The basket was filled with heart and star-shaped star-shaped cardstock. This didn't really go with our store's look. But I decided when I started, I was going to let Mayu make the decisions. Dad might complain later, but I don't care. He was the one who asked Mayu for help, not me. And so I went over to the register. Since it was Saturday, the checkout area was overflowing with shopping carts. Since it was going to take a while, I sent Mayu to browse the toy section for another floor. I knew that they had some stuff for one of her favorite shows, why not Kakeru, a very popular manga about the internet that appears in Roku Comics. It has a anime presently in its third season that runs every Sunday at 9 AM on East TV stations. While the general atmosphere and the character design of the show may make it look like it's for children, its unusual realistic themes make a show that adults can enjoy as well. I no way they're addicted to talking to Krisu. not at all. Mayu looked apologetic, but did what I told her to. Yeah, in the end I waited a whole 15 minutes at the register. As an apology, I decided to get the present I promised her. She seemed really happy as she started to stare at the keychain. Oh, man. So, is how she got the Ooper. It was Ooper, the mascot character from the Rhino series. I told her when she went over to the toy section she could pick out anything she wanted, and this is what she chooses. And seemed pretty happy about that, given how many Oopers you already have. And that's a regular green Ooper, right? Not the rare one? The rare one. Do you mean the Ooper one? The most popular and rarest of the Oopers was the shiny silver metal Ooper. For example, whenever there was a lottery for a rare Rhino Kakeru stuff at the convenience stores, the top prize was always a metal Ooper. Mayuri had once told me they sold for tens of thousands of yen at auction. Tisk tisk tisk. For some reason, Mayuri was wagging her finger at me. Nope, this is a green Ooper, but it's not a regular one. This is a green furry Ooper that was in the movie they just released. Come to think of it, there'd been Rhino Kakeru movie out this spring. Had Mayuri sat in the theatre full of little kids to watch it? The green fairy? Is it okay if I spoil the movie? Go ahead, I'm not going to see it. I might see it. Gosh, Mayuri. Rude. So, this movie is it's about a fight with an evil super hacker in the virtual world. The virtual world is a forest where the fairies live. Mr. Super Hacker is really strong and Kakeru and Ooper are in big trouble, but just when they're about to lose, the fairies come to save them. And it turns out the fairies are actually the flowers in the school garden that they'd always taken care of. It came out all the way to the virtual world to save Kakeru, and then there was a big shiny light and they combined with Ooper. And the green fairy Ooper, he's really cute and strong. I actually thought it was so great. I love stories like that. The director's a genius. I see. It was rare for Mayuri to get this excited about something. I took a close look and saw the design was a little different from the standard Ooper. I don't know a lot about Oopers, so I couldn't say exactly what was different. I've actually been spending a lot more time looking for this keychain. It's really popular, it's so sold out everywhere. I never would have thought Hans would have one. You're pretty lucky, huh? Yep, and it was the last one. I'm glad I came today. I need to thank you and your dad. Mary took the tag off her keychain, got her house key out of her bag and carefully attached it. Hey, Okuin, Marishin will treasure this forever and ever and ever. Yeah, please do. Make sure you don't lose it in 5 minutes after you get it. It happened once before, after all. Like the metal Ooper I'd won for the radio building. Myra lost it in no more than 5 minutes after I gave it to her. I wondered if she ever found it. I didn't really want to remember that time of my life, so my memory of what happened to the metal Ooper was vague. Ah, but we know. We know. Yep, I'm never going to lose it again. The two of them started to head back. I'm going to work hard and make sure I make the ads for your shop, okay? Yeah. You still gotta do that. I'd been thinking the job was done once we bought the materials. The real work actually begins now. Should I help too? No, I'm fine. Believe in Mayushi. I'm a little worried after you tried to buy a heart-shaped cardstock. It's fine. Well, it's nice of you to make them and all, so I won't complain. Oh, I need to call Mom. I'll tell her that I'll be home for dinner. Why not eat at my place? I'm sure either Mom or Dad will try and get you to stay anyway. I don't know. Are you going to stay at home the rest of today? You won't do anything You won't go to any singles parties? I haven't been to any lately. Last fall, when I've been trying to become a normal college kid, I forced myself to go to as many as possible. But lately, I've been so busy with my studies that I hadn't had a chance. I see, then maybe I will. Ray took out the phone and started to type something when the expression suddenly darkened. She stopped moving. What's wrong? I just got a message from Katie. I didn't notice. What should I do, Ocarine? Mary seemed like she was on the verge of tears. Did something happen? Hey, Ocarine. You told me before that Fubuki's not sick, right? Fubuki, you mean Nasuke-san, not Kurishima, right? Yeah. Is that true? She's really not sick? Yeah, I don't think so. But Mayuri showed me her phone. Fubuki's back in the hospital. I'm on my way. Here's the location. Oh. She's back in the hospital? I couldn't believe what we've seen on the screen. Oh. Well, we are going to end this episode here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.